G'day everyone and welcome back for another edition of BGA Golf Goss. I'm Christian. Over in Perth we've got Kean.
Yep.
Wayno. Over in the cold individual city called Ballarat. And best of all, we have golf back in Victoria. How good is it?
Yes, we're back. We're back and we're playing lots.
Oh, we didn't stop over here, boys, so I don't know what you're talking about. But
Yeah. So we went back out and hit the track on Wednesday morning was the first day, so that was quite interesting. So I know our club, we set down some guidelines to try and make sure that we did the right thing and to make sure sort of members got into the right vibe and the right path about it all going on, and it went fantastically well. The first couple of days we only played in twos. We moved out to fours on Saturday, so we're back to fours now, and we're back on fours every day of the week at the moment. So, and it's everyone's dying to get back. It was quite interesting. So our timesheet for this Saturday opened up on Wednesday. I set my alarm for 8 o'clock when it opened up. The entire field filled in 7 minutes.
Yeah, well, and that was pretty common all around the place, and it's certainly been interesting. There's been a few golf chat groups on Facebook. There's Golf in Melbourne. There's Victorian golf events. There was one around Dan Andrews' Let Us Play kind of thing. And it's been interesting watching, and hands up, I probably made a mistake and made an event called Stick It to the Dan Cup. Got some great feedback on that. Just trying to have a bit of a fun and a play with words. Wasn't trying to be political. But certainly cop some flack for those that are pro Dan Andrews. No, it's, as we've said along the way, it's been a tough decision. Certainly the leaders, both federally and state, have bigger things than golf to worry about, but it's bloody good to have golf open and available. And again, I think we talked a bit about it last time, but from the mental health standpoint, physical health standpoint, social standpoint, and then we've got the guys that, we work with is the guys that are employed in the industry. So for them to be out there, having their jobs back up and running, their staff going back to getting their wages, I think it's just great that we're able to do it. And obviously great that Australia has been able to manage COVID-19 a much better way than many other countries.
Yeah, it was. I actually made the comment to the guys I played with on Saturday, and we got round to probably about the third or fourth last hole, and I sort of said, I didn't realise how much, yes, I miss playing golf, but didn't realise how much it was just that having that social interaction, playing golf. And most of the time you just talk and waffle anyway. You're talking about what's going on and just, whatever. But it was just I really appreciated sort of getting back into the being able to just have that sort of time playing golf, but also having that social interaction that I really had missed. So it was, a big difference. So, yeah.
Do you think... Just throw one in there. Do we think now that we can't touch a flag, and I think it was this year we allowed the flag stick to be in, didn't we? Right?
Yes. Yeah.
And now we can't touch a flag, and you'll be putting with the flag. Do you think that will change over time? Where once again, you've heard me say I'm a bit of a traditionalist. I like the flag out and like doing this. Where you can't touch a flag at the moment, so it has to stay in. Do we think from here this will? People put with the flag in, and the other one I heard recently was that I don't know what's happening over there. I heard that some clubs are putting a foam disc into the cup, so the ball going halfway. So
that's what we've done. Yeah, so it's like a pool noodle.
Yep. With
a hole through the middle, and you basically just feed it down over the flag, and it sits. And so basically, when you put the ball in, the ball probably sits up maybe 10 mil.
Yep.
So you can just sort of put two fingers in and just pick it up and away go.
Grab it. Yeah, because I've heard others where they stick the hole up.
Yeah, they've done. Yeah, we did that. We did that for the first couple of days, but it was, if you're getting into competition, like the advantage of having the hole up, you can stand back there from, Christian would be great at it because you can stand there 10 foot out and just bash the putt as hard as you can. Forget about the break, and go from there. So. But in regards to the flag in and out, it's interesting. Like I refer back to playing before COVID. You play with some groups and some guys would go, oh, no, flag's definitely got to be out. But then the next guy get up to putt, no, I want it in. So you'd be in and out all the time. Now having it in there all the time, it was interesting the first couple of holes that we played Saturday. You'd be lining up your putt and the guys would go, do you want the flag in or out? And they go, oh, hang on, no, we can't touch it. So it was that, getting used to it was. But look, I think most people will sort of get to the point where they'll adapt to it, leave it in, and it'll be interesting on the other side. How many people,
Well, the other thing is that there's I don't know if you guys have seen, there's like a plastic molding they put around the pin, and it's got a little hook halfway up the flag, so you can actually just pull it up and it'll automatically get
hook your putter in and pull it up.
So some people aren't using the foam. I think most clubs would be using those little foam cuts, which is those noodles that they've cut down, but the others have gone for this plastic device. Have you guys actually seen the bunker adapter as well, the rake adapter for your golf club?
No.
So because you can't use rakes in bunkers, there's like this plastic molding piece that you keep in your bag, so everyone has one, and then you put it on the end of your grip of a club, and then you rake the bunker.
Oh, really?
Take it back off and put it back in your bag again.
No, we've just played a local rule where I think it was a recommendation from Golf Australia where you just basically rake with your foot. So just smooth it out with your foot. But when you land in the bunker, you've got a preferred line there straight away, so you can place it within in a hand span. So if you're landing someone else's foot mark.
And once again, I mean, I find with some golf courses, because the face of it is not solid, right? And sometimes you get plugged, which is not fair because it should be solid. I can understand it being plugged in the middle, let's say, of the bunker, right? But not in the face. I'm not a fan of that. No. But once again, with all these, rule changes we've had to adopt, will we keep these changes on?
Well, there's two things we can go from here from a conversational standpoint. There's superstitions, so with the flag in, flag out. I know I've had an experience at Joondalup actually where I had a putt and it went in and then it just got rejected by the flag stick because they've got big, fat, thick ones. Actually, sorry, at Karrinyup, not Joondalup.
Is that like a rejection slam out?
It was. Get out of here. But then I've got some other little superstitious things that I do on the course. Doesn't help me, but hey. But the other side is the traditional side, right? We just saw that TaylorMade event where the boys didn't have caddies. They all had stand bags, carried their own bags around, wore shorts. So it's breaking away from that traditional side. And I think, we appreciate the tradition of golf and the history of golf, but we also, I think, all agree it needs to evolve and move forward and needs to be more accepting. And, the call from someone out on the 8th green because Bob came in and he's wearing black socks instead of white needs to stop, let alone golf pros having to wear pants. And now, we see them wearing shorts. What did you guys think of the event and the direction that we think we kind of need to move in?
Well, look, the event was good. It was great to see the guys in more of that relaxed type atmosphere, and being mic'd up was really good as well because it's just interesting to hear what they actually say and the banter that goes on between them. Look, wearing shorts, who gives a rat's backside? Like shorts, long pants. If it's bloody hot, let them wear shorts. What's the difference? I've never really understood why they would do that. Having no caddies, I'll tell you what, it really did quicken the game up because it was basically them. They were allowed to use rangefinders as well, which was interesting. Yes. So using a rangefinder and standing up and playing their shot, it was like the normal conversation that goes on between the caddy and the player. Like if it's our favourite man Bryson to Chomper, he's looking at the wind flow and the way the earth's tilting, all that sort of crap. That's
out of sledge.
All of that stuff. Yeah, all that stuff was out. It was basically all that stuff was out. They just basically walked up, lasered the flag, and went, "Yep, okay," and went bang. And a couple of times you saw a couple of the guys walked up to, they'd leave their bags at the bottom. They'd walk up to a tee with a couple of clubs in their hand, a bit indecisive, and then make a decision, and away they went. So speed of play was actually really good. It kept it going. The commentators were bloody woeful. They just waffled on with crap. But it was,
I don't think it's tough just focusing on one group, right? Because, I mean, when they come...
Exactly. You've got much time to fill.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, I love the interaction between the players, like you were talking about, Wayne. Like, you don't quite get the full picture on TV, right? And we know that from Augusta. They talk about the greens at Augusta and how much undulation and levels there are, and you don't quite see that on TV. And some of the shots they were playing, especially out of greenside bunkers, and talking about what type of shot they were going to try to play, how they're going to try and play it, and the result. I think sometimes we would look at those results, oh, that wasn't that great a shot. But with them talking about that, I was like, oh, that's as good as you're going to get based on that. And yes, you hear the commentators say that sometimes, but to really hear the insight before the shot and then after the shot, you really got a great, insight into how they go about their craft, and I guess how much more difficult it is at their level and some of the courses they play.
Well, the thing is that was a nasty course.
Yeah, and the wind was up massively.
Yeah, that was Jesus. That was, there was something 200 or something, 280 bunkers or something on the course.
Yeah,
it was just, and like those waste sandlands they had that were running along the side of the fairways they had to play out of. It was a pretty. I think that's why it probably hasn't appeared on the PGA circuit before, because it's probably in that too hard class.
Yeah. So you would have had like 150 there, won't it?
Well, the other thing was that, so they had the skins match, right? And they raised over $5 million, was it?
Yep.
But it jackpotted, right? So they got to the 18th and they agreed prior to the match that if it was a jackpot, they would go to the 17 for a par 3 nearest to pin, which is a great way of doing it, obviously, because you're going to get a guaranteed result. And the first thing that was interesting was listening to Ricky and Matty Wolff talk. And it was like Matt Wolff was like an amateur in some ways, and Ricky was having to be his caddy and give him that confidence. So you can see where they were missing that caddy relationship. Yeah. And Ricky, I think one of his comments, it was like, show me something, Matt. Come on, just be confident. You've got this. And before that, Matt was a bit indecisive. Which club should I use? Prior to easy, but he was saying, you're not seeing the actual course layout, where the wind gets blocked, how much wind is actually blowing, where the pin's located, and then therefore which side of the green you've got to put it on. And so all that dialogue prior to the shot is great, because we know that golf's a mental game, right? We all struggle with the mental side. We step up to our shot and there's so many thoughts going through a lot of people's heads. And so to hear them going through those same challenges, even at their level, but then even more so, someone like a Rory, he's number one in the world for a reason, where he was more, I know what it is. This is what it is. This is what I got to do. And then bang, execute it. And he got nearest to the pin. It was just great to be taken through that whole insight and process.
But it was interesting. Like Matty Wolff, he's only 21. Well, he's a real freshie. He's only a young kid. So, probably, having someone like Ricky as a partner for him was really probably just a great way. And here he is playing with probably three of the biggest names in the industry, and he's only a freshie that's come on. But bloody hell, did you see how long did he hit it?
Yeah, 356 yards that drive.
He's got the most unbelievable, awkward, ugly, unorthodox swing you've ever seen in your life. But he absolutely flogs it.
All right, here's a question. Whose swing would you prefer, his or Jim Furyk's?
Jesus.
The one thing I'll give about Matty Wolff, right, is that he does it everywhere. Like, so if it's a 60-meter pitch shot all the way up to his driver, he's doing that little waggle thing, right? And mate, to get that timing,
he didn't do it in the bunker. They actually had him in a bunker shot. I think it was on the 17th or 18th. It was in, and they were like, I wonder if he's going to do the hip waggle in the bunker, or the hip check in the bunker. And then he went to take his shot, and he didn't do it.
Oh, he didn't do it? Okay.
But the funny thing is, when he does his practice swing before he actually hits the ball, he doesn't do it. And I while I was watching it, I thought, so I jumped online and had a look, and apparently, now I might be proven wrong here, but apparently it was, he broke, I thought it was something like a collarbone many years ago, and it took a long time to heal, and it was quite painful. So he actually adapted his swing to swing without putting pressure on his collarbone. Subsequently, it threw his body out of alignment. That's where that little waggle thing come into it, to try and get his body lined up before he hit it. And because he started playing so well with it, he just kept it, even though his collarbone's been fixed. But he was apparently a real gun star going all the way through college, and all those bits and pieces. And that's he's turned pro. But yeah, just I could not believe like he's got. They show the difference in the swings between Dustin and Rory in their backswing. You know, sort of being back on this angle. He's only getting to here. Yeah. So the power that he's getting from that position through to the ball, the club head speed just must be ridiculous.
Well, he's got that extra 12, right? Like similar to Jim Furyk, where it's kind of this circular 12 from out to in on his down path that he'll probably generate a bit of club head speed from. But the age you're talking about as well, I was so surprised. You know, I put up a couple of photos on our social media of me with Ricky, and even though I've had time with Ricky, to see that he's still only 31, I was like, yeah, he's still 31. I feel like he's been on tour for the last 20 years. You know, he's been around and he's changed so much over that time. Rory, similar, only 31, changed so much over that time. So yeah, those guys are so good for the game, and I think we all agree, great guys to have in that event. I think the raising the money for a great cause was awesome. Having shorts, seeing them carry sandbags, potentially no caddies, or that, at least speeding up that pace of play in those conversations, being mic'd up, all those things I think were great things that they can maybe look at to bring onto tour and enhance the experience. And I think, Kean, off air, you were talking a bit about having no crowds, right?
Yeah, I think we definitely, that's one thing I hope we don't lose. I hope, you know, that they let crowds back in and people cheering and clapping and all that, because it's just seemed a bit funny and sterile. It's one of those, and in any sporting events at the moment, right? We had our first AFL game and there's no crowds, and they're talking about when the AFL resumes, they'll put a fake noise in there.
Yeah. Hey, did anyone see that? What country was it in? There was a soccer match that they
Korea?
played in no, and they actually filled the stadium with sex dolls.
Well, actually,
I can't remember what it was, but yeah, they apparently got into a heap of poo because they filled it with sex dolls, and they had sex dolls holding up signs and all.
Oh, really?
So they can do that for the PGA.
Well, the other one was like, speaking about footy. I mean, you're a Tigers man, Wayno, and when they score goals in normal or regular season, they have it over the speaker, the Tiger roar, right?
Yep.
So I was even surprised that when they had the AFL, and I wonder if they do this when they come back, that when they score a goal, they actually have some sort of sound effect, at least to give it some ambience and atmosphere, because you don't have the crowds there. So I hope that at least do that. But yeah, you're right, Kean. Like no crowd, no. It's not.
All right, well, let's move on. Kean brought up an interesting one. We don't have a good story for this one. So Kean brought up the one of the things which I really don't have one, which I was I've just been thinking about it while we've been talking, is superstitions. Is superstitions that you actually have when you play golf. So, Kean, go on. You brought it up. Do you want to?
Yeah, look, I'm a pretty boring golfer, so that's why I don't have any stories. But I do have sort of a bit of a routine and a pattern I do try to follow if I can. One of those is I like to hit balls before. It's not a superstition, but I generally like to hit balls before my round. I've always had sort of some lower back issues that I've worked out. Warming up is good. But I will, with what I do in the golf course, I carry 4 short tees and 4 long tees, right, in my pocket when I play. So obviously the long ones for the drivers and the short ones I'll use. The long ones I will only use for my driver, right? And the short ones, if it's a 3-wood or an iron, I'll just use the short tees.
So what happens if you break one?
I'll get back to that. So let me come back to that. So right. And then I'll carry a pitch. It's the same pitch repairer that I've got, and generally it's the same ball marker, right? And the ball marker's got the year that I was born in. I got one from Ping. So anyway, so they're the four things I carry. And then with my ball, I generally mark it with a line, with a red line or an orange line, so it's highly visible as well. So that's sort of my routine, when I tee it up. If I'm having a good round, I don't replace anything in my pocket. All right. So if I break a tee or whatever, and if I find a tee, I don't pick it up. Right. If I find any tees, and all the tees are wooden, so I don't play with any plastic tees. All right. If I find a plastic tee, I give it to my playing partner and stuff. All right. It's one of those things. It's a weird thing. I know. And when I walk, I don't roll over any tee boxes. So if it's a ladies' tee box and it's sort of, how some ladies' tee boxes are 50 meters in front and stuff, I don't roll over that. It's a respect thing for me. It's sort of I go around and make sure, I don't roll on the tee boxes. So that's sort of my.
I got a headache just trying to friggin'.
It's crazy, right? So,
and then no wonder you don't play golf.
Yeah, correct. I've got too many things. And if my line wears out, because sometimes you hit your obviously on the fairways and stuff. If my line wears out, if I'm having a good round, I don't replace it. But if I'm having a shit round and the ball's not going in, I'll put a new line on it.
Holy cow, that's like a shopping list.
Do you have an instruction manual that you actually take around so you can follow all of your superstitions?
No.
I'm sure there's other players out there. I'm sure there's going to be people worse than us. So please, if you do, if you've got more than that, please let us know because
Golly.
What are the things I've just done.
I've only got a couple. Mine feels naked compared to his.
We shouldn't have started with Kean.
Yeah, I know. I got this one ball marker divot repairer that my wife bought probably over 10 years ago for me, and I have to have it. Like, if I don't have it, I'm already feel like I'm missing something on me with my golf round. So I have to have that first and foremost. And what me off is that I'll usually put it in the bag of golf balls, or I'll put it in the tees, and sometimes I accidentally put it in another pocket. So there's sometimes I start my round and I'm frantically looking through my bag just to find this, and then I start thinking I've lost it, and then I start going into a head spin. So that's probably my main one, but I'm saying always have to have the line, which is again from this same divot repairer. It's got the marking obviously on it. Have to have the line on my balls for my putting, and when I tee it up, I have the line pointing down the line of the fairway as well. So all of those little quirks, if you like, I kind of have in my game, and it's all comes off this one bloody divot repairer.
The only thing that I really have is I mark my ball the same way every time, but I wouldn't call it a superstition. It's just the same way I mark it.
Do you play with certain numbers of balls, Wayno? Like, you don't play with certain numbers?
No.
Whatever comes out of the sleeve. So that's one other thing, though. So similar thing to Kean. I don't have 4 tees or whatever, but I need to have in my right pocket, I've got to have my divot tool.
There you go. See?
One long tee and one short tee, and my glove in my left-hand pocket. That's it.
God.
And then obviously, and then scorecard I need to have in my back left cheek. I can't leave it on my buggy or anything like that. It's got to be, everything has to be in those locations.
I'm in with 2 whack jobs.
Mine's obviously a more superstition, but I think once you get, as a golfer, what we're saying is once you get used to having certain things in certain places, you just want to, make sure it's there and easily accessible. So yeah, that's quite an interesting.
It goes back to the pin conversation, right? So the fact that we can't take the pin out right now, we just deal with it and there's no problems. But when you can and you have that choice, then it's a problem because we're creatures of habit and we kind of have a bit of superstition. Like me, I got rejected once by the pin, so now I never want to have that bloody thing in. But I don't have a choice at the moment, so you make
That's
it
not
work.
the only time you've been rejected in your life, mate.
No, definitely not.
Well, look, I will go back. One, when I was younger, I had that my idea was that I don't have any now, but my idea was that on the putting green, I always had to miss the putt because my belief was if you got a putt on the putting green, that was one that you'd actually taken away from the So I'd actually purposely miss the putts on the putting green. But that was when I was only a younger. But
I'm sure if you actually talk to a psychologist, Wayne, they'd ask you to actually put the ball in the hole because the more time you go in, the better it is. Not miss it. So you might have to go see someone else for that, mate. Might have to see a professional.
No, that's gone.
I think the backstory to that is that he kept missing his putts on the practice greens. He copped some crap, so he thought, I'll just make it up that I'm purposely missing.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Very good.
All right.
Well, that's it for this week.
One more thing, guys. Just and to our audience, I was listening to another podcast or another one of these the other day, and they had quite an interesting section where they asked their viewers to pop any questions they might have that they could certainly help with. And I think with our contacts in the golf industry, whether it be something to do with product, something to do with a golf swing or anything like that, we can certainly reach out and talk to these people. So if anyone wants to know some certain why, things are created the way they are, or anything about a swing or a rule or anything, please let us know, and we'll reach out to the right people and try to get that answer for you.
Yeah,
if you want to know if Patrick reads it, sorry, if you want to know if Patrick reads a cheat, I'm sorry, we can't help you.
Oh, we know he's a cheat. Don't worry. There's a video on that, so yeah.
No, and look, the benefit is that, again, for the audience, we can get special guests on, whether it's PGA pros like Dave on the last episode we had. Otherwise, we can get some of the head of the suppliers, come on and have a chat with us, or their product guys, and get some answers and some information for you. So thanks again, gents. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thanks,
No
everyone.
worries.
Next week.
See you then.
Yeah.